So initially for the intro for this review, I started out screaming multiple obscenities and saying the N-word over and over again, very similarly to the way that West Side Gun does at the beginning of this record. And every time I tried to post it, TikTok said, not gonna happen. Which, okay, I understand. They have guidelines. And speaking of saying the N word, I had this friend of mine back in college who was not black, and he loved hip hop, specifically Ludacris. He really, really loved Ludacris. But every time the N word would come up in the song, he would censor himself. And he was actually very, very good at it. It was almost masterful how he would always dodge saying that word, whether it was the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. So, shout out to him for really perfecting that craft of just avoiding that word while trying to still sing along to rap lyrics. Anyway, this is the brand new album from JID, God Does Like Ugly. So, quick question. Is rap music back? Now, of course, I'm being silly. Rap music has never gone away. There's always good rap music to be found. Myself, I listen to enough music where I'm always going to find quality hip hop music somehow, some way. But as far as the mainstream is concerned, we do seem to be on a bit of a hot streak of more higher quality, more thought provoking, more well crafted records that are kind of piercing the mainstream conversation as far as rap fans and social media, which is great to see. And this record is another example of that. Now, the last record from JID, The Forever Story, to me, just so we're clear, is 10 Sticks of Butter. That record is phenomenal. I was blown away when I first heard that album, and I had a lot of anticipation for this new record. And I was almost positive there was no way that this record could match the enthusiasm that I had for that last record. And unfortunately, I was correct. But to be clear, this is not a bad album. I do like this album, but I have my issues. Now, just to heap some quick praise on JID, when it comes to the upper echelon of who are the best MCs today, who's at the top of the game, the obvious names you have are Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, whoever else you can think of. Now, I think that there is this upstream of particular MCs right now that are on the cusp of really gaining the certain level of respect that they truly deserve as far as being considered really one of the best going today. Names that come to mind for me, Rome Streets, SD Knack, and JID. I think JID is an amazing lyricist, an amazing rapper. The guy tends to embarrass a lot of people on their own shit, and nobody comes close to embarrassing him on his own shit, including on this record. And there are plenty of quality guest appearances on this record, namely clips. The guy got clips on his album. I mean, geez. I also like the guest appearances from the likes of Vince Staples, Ty Dolla $ign, who I usually don't really like, and also Don Toliver. Like I've said in the past, when I get a little Don Toliver, it's good by me. Too much Don Toliver, I just want to run the opposite direction. But this record has just the right amount of Don Toliver. And also, Sierra is on this album on a really fun club-sounding track on here that I feel like JID does a good job of riding that wave and not sounding too out of place. And by the way, quick shout out to Sierra. Sierra, I think we need to put more respect on her name because I feel like when you think of her and her career, you would think she has like, oh, a couple hits. But I happened to see her live like a while ago when she opened for Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes. She has like 10 hits. And she's also really great on stage, like a full-blown performer. So, respect to you, Sierra. Now, the unfortunate thing as it pertains to this record specifically is that I can't help but compare it to his last record, The Forever Story, which to me is a borderline hip hop masterpiece. Now, on this album, he still does a great job of really accentuating his strengths as a great lyricist, a great rapper, but everything on here, as far as the production, some of the beat selections, the collaborations, and how all of these kind of grand, ambitious ideas are put together, all feel like his last record, except one or two steps below in quality, which is unfortunate. And in a strange way, I feel like if the Forever Story just didn't exist and this was the new JID record that came out 2 or 3 years ago, I might think a lot higher of this. And I will admit that's completely unfair to think, but unfortunately, that's just how this is going in my brain as I listen to this record. I personally still think JID is a top 10 rapper in the game today, right now, as we speak. I also think that this record is worth your time. And if you love hip hop, you will most likely enjoy a good chunk of this record. But when you reach certain heights like JID has reached, there's a certain level of expectations that you kind of have to reach. And unfortunately, those heights are hard to reach again or to surpass. And I just don't think he does that on this album, even though I still think this record is probably better than 65, 70% of the rap that I've heard this year. That's still pretty damn good. 7 sticks of butter. Peace, love, butter.